Alright, so you think you know farming? You picture a guy in overalls, pitchfork in hand, maybe a trusty old tractor chugging along. Well, let me tell you, that picture, while nostalgic, is getting a serious upgrade. We're talking about a revolution, folks. A technological tidal wave washing over the amber waves of grain. I've spent a good chunk of my life getting my hands dirty, seeing how things get done, and I've seen some pretty ingenious solutions to tough problems. But what's happening in agriculture these days? It's on a whole other level. Farming has gone high-tech. These mind-blowing machines are changing agriculture forever. From robots that pick fruit with a gentler touch than a human hand, to tractors that drive themselves with pinpoint accuracy, the landscape of food production is being reshaped before our very eyes. It's not just about making things easier, though that's part of it. It's about precision, efficiency, sustainability, and ultimately, feeding a growing world. These aren't your grandpa's farm tools unless your grandpa was a Bond villain with a penchant for horticulture. So, buckle up. We're about to take a deep dive into a world where silicon chips are as important as fertile soil, and where the next generation of farmers might just be operating a fleet of autonomous machines from a tablet. I'm Agric for Profits, and today we're looking at 10 insane farming machines you absolutely need to see. Trust me, you won't look at your dinner plate the same way again. Now, I've driven a few tractors in my day. Big ones, small ones, some that probably should have been put out to pasture years ago. And let me tell you, keeping those rows straight, hour after hour, under a blazing sun or in the biting cold, it takes a certain kind of focus, a certain kind of grit. You're not just steering, you're constantly adjusting, feeling the land, making sure every pass is just right. It's a skill, honed over years. So, when someone tells me a tractor can drive itself, well, a part of me is a little skeptical and another part is downright fascinated. These autonomous tractors, they're not just following a pre-programmed line like a toy train. They're equipped with GPS so accurate it can pinpoint their position within an inch, LiDAR to see obstacles, and sophisticated AI to make decisions on the fly. Imagine a machine that can till, plant, or spray a massive field, day or night, rain or shine, without a human hand on the wheel. It sounds like science fiction, but it's happening right now, on farms all over the world. The precision is something else. No wasted fuel from overlapping passes, no missed spots, just perfectly executed work, every single time. Think about the implications for the farmer. Labor shortages are a real problem in agriculture. Finding skilled operators who are willing to put in those long, grueling hours is getting tougher. An autonomous tractor doesn't get tired, it doesn't call in sick, it can work around the clock, optimizing planting windows and harvesting times. This isn't about replacing farmers, it's about giving them a powerful new tool, allowing them to manage larger areas more effectively, or focus on other critical aspects of the farm, like soil health or crop marketing. And it's not just about driving in straight lines. These machines can gather data as they go, soil conditions, crop health, yield information. They're becoming mobile data centers, feeding information back to the farmer, who can then make more informed decisions. It's a level of micromanagement for massive operations that was unthinkable just a decade ago. The farmer becomes less of a laborer and more of a fleet manager, an agronomist, a data analyst. The job changes, it evolves, but the core mission growing food remains. Of course, there are challenges. The cost for one is significant. And then there's the learning curve, the infrastructure needed for connectivity, and the good old-fashioned fear of letting a multi-ton machine navigate your livelihood on its own. But the pioneers, the early adopters, they're seeing the benefits: increased efficiency, reduced input costs for fuel and fertilizer, and the potential for higher yields. It's a compelling argument. So while I'll always have a soft spot for the rumble of an old diesel and the satisfaction of a perfectly plowed field done by hand, I can't deny the sheer capability and game-changing potential of these self-driving behemoths. They're a testament to human ingenuity, tackling one of our oldest and most vital professions with cutting-edge technology. The fields are still dirty, but the way we work them is getting a whole lot smarter. Alright, let's talk about harvesting. For certain crops, especially fruits and vegetables, it's a delicate operation. Take strawberries for example. You can't just go in there with a combine and scoop them up. Each berry has to be picked at the right moment of ripeness, handled gently to avoid bruising, and carefully placed. It's traditionally been a job for human hands, requiring dexterity, judgment, and a whole lot of bending over. It's tough, painstaking work, often done by seasonal laborers under demanding conditions. Now imagine a robot that can do that. Not some clunky, smashing automaton, but a machine with a delicate touch, eyes that can see ripeness better than you or I, and the stamina to work tirelessly. Harvesting robots are no longer just a concept, they're being deployed in fields and greenhouses, picking everything from apples and tomatoes to asparagus and, yes, strawberries. These aren't your factory floor robots, bolting car parts together. These are sophisticated machines often equipped with multiple arms, advanced vision systems, and AI algorithms. The technology is pretty incredible. Cameras and sensors identify the fruit, assess its size, shape, and color to determine ripeness. Then, a robotic arm, sometimes with a soft, custom-designed gripper, will gently detach the fruit and place it into a container. Some can even sort and grade the produce on the spot. The precision is key. Minimizing damage means less waste and a higher quality product reaching the consumer. And that means a better bottom line for the farmer. Think about the consistency. A robot doesn't get tired and start rushing at the end of a long shift. It doesn't get distracted. Every pick is performed with the same care and precision as the first. This can lead to a more uniform harvest, which is a big deal for packaging and sales. And in a world where finding reliable seasonal labor is becoming increasingly difficult and expensive, these robotic helpers are offering a viable and often necessary alternative. Of course, these machines are complex. Developing a robot that can navigate uneven field terrain, identify fruit hidden amongst leaves, and handle it without causing damage is a massive engineering challenge. They need to be robust enough for farm conditions but gentle enough for delicate produce. And they're not cheap. But as the technology improves and the costs come down, we're seeing them become more accessible. For me, it's fascinating to see how we're teaching machines to replicate, and in some cases even surpass, human capabilities in such intricate tasks. It's not about making human skill obsolete, but about augmenting it, about finding solutions to the very real challenges of feeding a growing population while ensuring the quality and sustainability of our food supply. These harvesting robots are quiet heroes, working diligently to bring the bounty of the field to our tables, one gentle pick at a time. When you think of a farm, you probably picture wide open spaces, rolling hills, acres and acres of land stretching out to the horizon. That's the traditional image, and for good reason. But what if I told you that some of the most innovative farming is happening not out in the country, but right in the heart of our cities? And not spread out, but stacked up, reaching for the sky? Welcome to the world of vertical farming. This is agriculture turned on its head, literally. Instead of growing crops in horizontal fields, vertical farms cultivate plants in layers, often in controlled indoor environments like warehouses, shipping containers, or even specially designed buildings. Think of it like a skyscraper for salads. Leafy greens, herbs, and even some fruits are being grown this way, often using hydroponic, aeroponic, or aquaponic systems, which means little to no soil is involved. The advantages are pretty compelling. First off, location. Growing food right where people live drastically reduces transportation costs and the carbon footprint associated with shipping produce across countries or even continents. This means fresher food for consumers, often harvested just hours before it hits the shelves or a restaurant kitchen. And because it's a controlled environment, you can grow year-round, regardless of the weather outside. No more worrying about droughts, floods, or early frosts. Then there's the resource efficiency. Vertical farms can use up to 95% less water than traditional agriculture because water is often recirculated and reused. Since it's a closed system, the need for pesticides and herbicides is virtually eliminated, which is a big win for both consumers and the environment. And by growing upwards, you can produce a tremendous amount of food in a very small footprint. We're talking about yields that can be hundreds of times higher per square foot than conventional farming. Of course, it's not all sunshine and spreadsheets. Setting up a vertical farm requires a significant upfront investment in technology, LED lighting, climate control systems, pumps, sensors, and the energy consumption for lighting and environmental controls can be substantial, although advances in LED efficiency and renewable energy integration are helping to mitigate this. It's a different kind of farming, requiring skills in engineering and data management as much as horticulture. But the potential is enormous, especially as our global population becomes increasingly urbanized and concerns about food security and sustainability grow. Imagine neighborhoods with their own local food production hubs, providing fresh, nutritious produce with minimal environmental impact. It's a vision of farming that's less about vast tracts of land and more about smart, intensive, and localized cultivation. It's proving that sometimes to grow more, you don't need to spread out, you just need to look up. Chapter 4: Eyes in the Sky Drone Crop Dusters. Alright, crop dusting. For a lot of folks, that conjures up images of a daredevil pilot in a biplane swooping low over the fields, trailing a plume of chemicals. It's a bit romantic, a bit risky, and well, maybe a bit old-fashioned in some ways. While those pilots are incredibly skilled, the technology for applying treatments to crops is evolving, and one of the most exciting developments is happening on a much smaller, much more precise scale. Drone crop dusters. These aren't your hobbyist drones you fly in the park. We're talking about robust, specialized unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs, designed specifically for agricultural applications. They can be equipped with tanks for pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers, or even beneficial insects. And instead of a pilot in a cockpit, you have an operator on the ground, often with a sophisticated control system that allows for incredibly precise flight paths and application rates. The precision is really the name of the game here. Traditional aerial spraying, whether from a plane or a large ground rig, can sometimes lead to drift, where the spray doesn't land exactly where it's intended. Drones, flying lower and slower, can target specific areas with remarkable accuracy. This means less chemical usage, which is better for the environment and reduces costs for the farmer. They can even be programmed for spot spraying, treating only the affected plants or areas within a field rather than a blanket application. Think about the accessibility too. Drones can get into places that are difficult or impossible for larger aircraft or ground machinery. Small, irregularly shaped fields, terraced farms, or areas with challenging terrain. And they can be deployed quickly. If a farmer spots a pest outbreak, they don't have to wait to schedule a plane. They can potentially have a drone up and treating the problem within hours. This rapid response can be crucial in preventing significant crop damage. There's also a safety aspect. The operator is on the ground, away from direct exposure to the chemicals being sprayed. This reduces risks associated with piloting aircraft at low altitudes or handling hazardous materials up close. And these drones are getting smarter all the time, with obstacle avoidance systems and the ability to create detailed maps of the areas they've treated, providing valuable data back to the farm manager. Naturally, there are regulations and considerations. Flight restrictions, operator licensing, and the payload capacity of drones compared to traditional methods are all factors. But the technology is advancing rapidly, batteries are lasting longer, tank capacities are increasing, and the software is becoming more sophisticated. For targeted applications, for managing smaller or trickier plots, and for rapid response, these eyes in the sky are proving to be an invaluable tool in the modern farmer's arsenal. It's a high-tech solution to an age-old problem, delivering what's needed, exactly where it's needed. Chapter 5. Just the right sip. Automated irrigation systems. Water. It's the lifeblood of agriculture. Too little and your crops wither and die. Too much and you risk root rot, nutrient leaching, and wasting a precious resource. For centuries, farmers have walked their fields, checked the soil with their hands, and made their best guesses about when and how much to irrigate. It's an art form, in a way, but in a world increasingly facing water scarcity, we need more science, more precision. And that's where automated irrigation systems come in. These aren't just fancy sprinkler timers. We're talking about smart systems that use a network of sensors, weather data, and sophisticated algorithms to deliver exactly the right amount of water to crops at exactly the right time. Soil moisture sensors buried in the field constantly monitor conditions. Weather stations track rainfall, temperature, humidity, and evapotranspiration rates. That's the amount of water lost from the soil and plants to the atmosphere. All this data is fed into a central controller, often accessible via a smartphone or computer. The system then analyzes this information and makes decisions about when to turn the water on, for how long, and in which specific zones of the field. This means no more overwatering one section while another stays parched. It's about giving each plant, or at least each section of the field, precisely what it needs, no more, no less. The benefits are huge. First and foremost, water conservation. In many agricultural regions, water is a limited and expensive resource. Automated systems can reduce water usage by significant amounts, sometimes 30%, 50%, or even more compared to traditional flood or sprinkler irrigation. This not only saves money for the farmer, but also helps preserve water resources for other uses and for the environment. Less water runoff also means less leaching of fertilizers and pesticides into waterways. Then there's the impact on crop yields and quality. Consistent, optimal moisture levels lead to healthier plants, better root development, and ultimately, higher yields. Stress from too little or too much water can significantly impact how a plant grows and produces. By taking the guesswork out of irrigation, these systems help farmers create the ideal growing conditions, maximizing the potential of their crops. And the farmer saves time and labor, not having to manually operate valves or move pipes. Of course, implementing such a system requires investment in sensors, controllers, and potentially upgrading existing irrigation infrastructure like drip lines or precision sprinklers. There's also the need to learn how to use and interpret the data the system provides, but the return on investment, through water savings, increased yields, and reduced labor, can be substantial. It's another example of how technology is empowering farmers to work smarter, not just harder, making agriculture more sustainable and productive in the face of growing challenges. It's about making every drop count. Chapter 6. Listening to the land-soil sensors. The ground beneath our feet, the soil, it's more than just dirt. It's a complex, living ecosystem, the very foundation of agriculture. For generations, farmers have developed an intuitive feel for their land, knowing its quirks, its strengths, its needs. But what if the soil could talk? What if it could tell us exactly what it needs in real time with scientific precision? Well, with modern soil sensors, it pretty much can. These aren't just simple probes you stick in the ground to see if it's wet or dry. We're talking about sophisticated devices packed with sensors that can measure a whole range of critical soil properties. Moisture content, of course, is a big one, but also temperature, pH levels, salinity, nutrient levels like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and even organic matter content. Some can even measure soil compaction. These sensors can be deployed across a field, creating a detailed map of soil variability, because let's face it, no field is perfectly uniform. One area might be sandy and drain quickly, while another is heavy clay and holds on to moisture. One spot might be rich in nutrients while another is depleted. Understanding this variability is crucial for optimizing inputs and maximizing yields. The sensors transmit this data wirelessly, often in real time, to a central platform or the farmer's phone or computer. So what does a farmer do with all this information? It empowers them to practice what's known as precision agriculture. Instead of treating the entire field the same way, they can make targeted interventions. For example, if sensors show one part of the field is low on nitrogen, they can apply fertilizer specifically to that area, rather than a blanket application across the whole field. This saves money on fertilizer, reduces environmental impact from runoff, and ensures the crops get exactly what they need, where they need it. The same goes for irrigation, as we've discussed. Soil moisture sensors are a key component of automated irrigation systems, ensuring water is applied only when and where it's necessary. Knowing soil temperature can help determine the optimal time for planting. Monitoring pH and salinity can alert farmers to potential problems that could inhibit crop growth, allowing them to take corrective action before yields suffer. It's like having a doctor constantly monitoring the health of your soil. This technology is transforming how farmers manage their most fundamental resource. It's moving from broad strokes to fine-tuned adjustments, from guesswork to data-driven decisions. It helps improve soil health over the long term, making farming more sustainable. The initial investment in sensors and data management systems can seem daunting, but the potential for savings on inputs, increased yields, and improved land stewardship is a powerful incentive. The Earth is speaking, and thanks to these tiny technological marvels, farmers are listening more closely than ever before. Now, farming isn't just about plants. A huge part of global agriculture is raising livestock, and managing animals, whether it's a dairy herd, beef cattle on a vast ranch, or a flock of sheep, comes with its own set of challenges. Keeping track of their health, their location, their behavior, it's a full-time job and then some. Traditionally, it's relied on keen observation, experience, and a lot of walking or riding. But technology is stepping in here too, with livestock monitoring systems that are like giving every animal its own personal Fitbit and then some. Imagine a cow wearing a smart collar or an ear tag equipped with sensors. These devices can track a whole host of data. Location, for one, using GPS. This is invaluable for ranchers with large, open ranges, helping them find lost animals or monitor grazing patterns. But it goes much further than that. These sensors can monitor an animal's activity levels. Is a cow moving around less than usual? That could be an early sign of illness or lameness. They can also track physiological signs, body temperature for instance. A spike in temperature can indicate an infection long before visible symptoms appear. Some systems can even monitor rumination patterns, how much a cow is chewing its cud. A change in rumination is often one of the very first signs that something is amiss with a dairy cow's health or digestion. Early detection of health issues means quicker intervention, which can lead to better treatment outcomes, reduced use of antibiotics, and improved animal welfare. Beyond individual health, these systems can provide insights into herd behavior. They can detect when cows are in heat, which is crucial for optimizing breeding programs and improving reproductive efficiency. Some systems use accelerometers to identify specific behaviors like eating, drinking, resting, or even stress behaviors. This data can help farmers fine-tune management practices, improve animal comfort, and ensure their livestock are thriving. All this information is typically transmitted wirelessly to a central hub and then to the farmer's computer or smartphone. So, instead of having to visually inspect every single animal multiple times a day, a farmer can get alerts for any animal that's showing unusual signs. This doesn't replace good stockmanship, but it augments it, allowing farmers to manage larger herds more effectively and focus their attention where it's needed most. It's like having an extra set of eyes, or hundreds of them, working 24/7. The goal here is multifaceted: improve animal health and welfare, increase productivity, like milk yield or reproductive rates, and make farm management more efficient. For the animals, it means potential health problems are caught earlier. For the farmer, it means peace of mind, better data for decision-making, and ultimately, a more sustainable and profitable operation. It's technology that serves both the animal and the one caring for it, a digital shepherd for the 21st century. Chapter 8. Every seed counts. Precision seeders planting. It seems simple enough, right? Put a seed in the ground, cover it up, add water and wait. But anyone who's ever tried to grow anything knows there's a lot more to it than that. Especially when you're farming on a commercial scale. The spacing between seeds, the depth at which they're planted, the consistency of that placement, it all has a massive impact on germination, growth, and ultimately, the yield you get from your field. For generations, farmers have strived for that perfect plant stand. Enter the precision seeder or precision planter. These are not your granddad's old seed drill that just kind of scattered seeds in a row. We're talking about highly sophisticated machines designed to place each individual seed at the optimal depth and spacing with incredible accuracy. Think of it as giving every single seed the best possible start in life. No overcrowding, which leads to competition for light, water, and nutrients. No big gaps, which means wasted space and lower overall plant population. How do they do it? These machines often use advanced metering systems, sometimes vacuum-powered or electrically driven, to singulate seeds, that is, to pick up and release one seed at a time. They have depth control mechanisms that adjust to the contours of the land, ensuring each seed is planted at the precise depth required for that specific crop and soil condition. Some even have downforce systems that apply consistent pressure to the planting units, cutting through crop residue and ensuring good seed-to-soil contact, which is vital for germination. But it doesn't stop there. Many modern precision seeders are integrated with GPS and field mapping technology. This allows for variable rate seeding, where the planting density can be adjusted on the go, based on the specific conditions in different parts of the field. For example, areas with richer soil might get a higher seed population, while areas with poorer soil get a lower one, optimizing the use of seed and maximizing the potential of each zone within the field. The data these machines collect is also invaluable. They can record exactly how many seeds were planted per acre, the spacing accuracy, and even information about soil conditions as they plant. This information helps farmers evaluate their planting performance, make adjustments for future seasons, and build a detailed history of their fields. It's all about taking the guesswork out of one of the most critical steps in the farming cycle. The result of all this precision? More uniform crop emergence, healthier plant stands, reduced seed waste, and ultimately higher yields. When every plant has the space and resources it needs to thrive, it performs better. For the farmer, this means a better return on their investment in seed, which can be one of the most significant input costs. It's a testament to how focusing on the small details, like the placement of a single tiny seed, can have a massive impact on the big picture of food production. Chapter 9. The Search and Destroy Missions, Robotic Weeders. Ah, weeds. The bane of every farmer and gardener since time immemorial. They compete with crops for sunlight, water, nutrients, and space. Controlling them is a constant battle, traditionally fought with hoes, cultivators, herbicides, and a lot of backbreaking labor. While herbicides have been a powerful tool, there are growing concerns about herbicide resistance, environmental impact, and consumer demand for food produced with fewer chemicals. So, what's the next frontier in weed warfare? Robots, of course. Robotic weeders are emerging as a fascinating and potentially game-changing technology. These aren't just machines that till the whole field. They are intelligent devices designed to identify individual weeds and eliminate them, often without disturbing the surrounding crop plants or the soil too much. Think of them as tiny autonomous agricultural assassins, programmed for search and destroy missions against unwanted vegetation. The technology behind them is pretty slick. They typically use advanced vision systems, often powered by AI and machine learning, to distinguish between crop plants and weeds. The robot will scan the field, and its onboard computer analyzes the images in real time. Once a weed is identified, the robot employs one of several methods to eliminate it. Some use tiny, precise mechanical tools, little hoes or blades, to uproot or cut the weed. Others are even more futuristic. I've seen prototypes and early models that use targeted lasers to zap the weeds, burning them at the growth point. Some use microdoses of herbicide applied directly and only to the weed, drastically reducing overall chemical usage. There are even some exploring a quick blast of electricity. The key is precision targeting the weed while leaving the valuable crop untouched and minimizing soil disturbance, which can bring more weed seeds to the surface. The potential benefits are enormous. A significant reduction in herbicide use is a big one, which is good for the environment, potentially for consumer health, and can help combat the problem of herbicide-resistant weeds. For organic farmers who can't use synthetic herbicides, these robots could offer a much-needed automated solution for weed control, reducing the reliance on very labor-intensive hand weeding. These robots are often designed to be lightweight and autonomous, capable of working day or night. Imagine a small fleet of these robots patrolling your fields, diligently seeking out and eliminating weeds before they become a problem. This could free up farmers from a very time-consuming and often frustrating task, allowing them to focus on other aspects of crop management. The precision also means less collateral damage to the crop, which can sometimes happen with broader cultivation or spraying methods. Naturally, this is still an evolving field. The robots need to be robust enough to handle real-world farm conditions, and their ability to accurately identify weeds in various growth stages and lighting conditions is constantly being improved. The cost is also a factor, as with any new advanced technology. But as these robotic weed warriors become more sophisticated, more reliable, and more affordable, they could fundamentally change how we approach one of agriculture's oldest and most persistent challenges. Chapter 10. The Plant Paradise. Smart Greenhouses. Greenhouses have been around for a long time, offering a way to extend growing seasons and protect plants from harsh weather. But the greenhouses of today, or at least the cutting-edge ones, are a far cry from simple glass or plastic structures. We're talking about smart greenhouses, high-tech, climate-controlled environments where every aspect of plant growth can be monitored and managed with incredible precision. It's like creating a five-star hotel specifically for plants where their every need is anticipated and met. These smart greenhouses are packed with technology. Sensors constantly monitor temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide levels, and light intensity. Automated systems then adjust these conditions to maintain the optimal environment for whatever crop is being grown. If it gets too hot, vents open automatically or shade cloths deploy. If it's too humid, dehumidifiers kick in. If CO2 levels drop, they can be supplemented to boost photosynthesis. Lighting is a huge part of it. Advanced LED lighting systems can be programmed to provide the exact spectrum and intensity of light that plants need at different stages of their growth. This means you can grow crops year-round, even in regions with short days or cloudy weather, and ensure they get consistent, high-quality light. Some systems even mimic sunrise and sunset, or can be adjusted to stress plants in specific ways to enhance flavor or nutrient content. Irrigation and fertilization are also highly controlled, often using hydroponic or aeroponic systems where nutrients are delivered directly to the roots in a water solution. This is called fertigation. The nutrient mix can be precisely tailored to the crop's requirements, ensuring optimal nutrition and minimizing waste. Water is often recycled, making these systems incredibly water efficient compared to open field agriculture. The level of control is astounding. Farmers can manage these systems remotely, using software on their computers or smartphones. They can track data, receive alerts if conditions deviate from the set points, and make adjustments from anywhere. This allows for a level of micromanagement that can lead to significantly higher yields, better quality produce, and more predictable harvests. You're essentially taking the unpredictability of nature out of the equation. Of course, building and equipping a smart greenhouse is a significant investment, but for high-value crops like tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, flowers, or even cannabis, in regions where it's legal, the returns can justify the cost. It also allows for local food production in areas where traditional farming might be difficult or impossible due to climate or land availability. These controlled environments are pushing the boundaries of what we can grow, where we can grow it, and how efficiently we can do it. It's farming as a precise science, creating a plant paradise, one smart sensor and actuator at a time. Chapter 11. The Fields of Tomorrow, Today. So, there you have it. 10 pieces of machinery that are not just changing the game, they're rewriting the entire rulebook for agriculture. From tractors that think for themselves to robots with a surgeon's touch, and farms that reach for the sky, it's clear that the future of farming is deeply intertwined with technology. It's a world where data is as valuable as rainfall, and where ingenuity is cultivated right alongside the crops. These innovations aren't just about cool gadgets, they're about tackling some of the biggest challenges we face, feeding a growing global population, doing it sustainably, and making the tough, essential job of farming a little more manageable and profitable. The spirit of innovation that drives these developments is something to behold. It's about looking at an age-old profession and asking, how can we do this better, smarter, more efficiently? And the answers, as we've seen, are often found in a blend of mechanical engineering, artificial intelligence, and a deep understanding of biology and agronomy. It's a reminder that progress doesn't just happen in labs or tech companies. It happens in the fields, in the dirt, driven by the need to nourish the world. Which machine impressed you the most? Was it the tireless autonomy of a self-driving tractor, the delicate precision of a harvesting robot, or perhaps the urban ingenuity of a vertical farm? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and follow for more insights into the amazing world of modern agriculture. And always visit our official website at www.agric4profits.com for more information on how technology is helping farmers thrive. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.